Initially, it was a very negative reaction in response to the implementation of the tariffs on Mexico and China specifically. We have seen some relief as the day has gone on, as news came out that there would be a pause on any action against Mexico for a month, and I think just an increasing thought and hope by the market that President Trump will be pragmatic and use this as a negotiating tactic, and in more cases than not, cut deals that can arrive at an acceptable outcome, as opposed to see the initial headlines fully implemented. I think it is an effective tactic on President Trump's part, and so we've seen already with Colombia last week and Mexico today that a concrete threat generated action very quickly, and brought them to the table to make concessions. So I think it is effective. Now, how effective will it be with larger nations, the likes of China? I think that could be a different story. If implemented in literal terms, the tariff policies would definitely be negative to aggregate GDP growth. They would result in a spike in inflation in the near term, or at least a step up in the price level. Trigger retaliatory actions by some countries. In the case of Canada specifically, they had some targeted areas to go after, such as U.S. bourbon. And really just the potential to muddy up an otherwise pretty constructive economic backdrop. And assuming that at least some of these things will be implemented, I do think all else equal, you'll see a slightly negative impact to earnings and to market levels. I would say, there's a decent chance, in my opinion, that you'll have reasonable deals cut with most of the countries, such that the effect won't prove to be really, really substantial. But I do think, on the margin, it's negative. And that's, why you're seeing the market react the way it is. Consumers should expect higher prices of some sort, and TBD, the exact magnitude, but across a number of goods, a step up in prices. And in some cases, the companies will absorb, a bit of that increase in tariff and price, but in other cases, they'll seek to pass it through to consumers to protect margins. It sends the message it sends to consumers, I'd say, is mixed. It sends a message that there could be uncertainty, there could be the ask of bearing some pain for what the administration would assert as a long-term gain. And so I think reasonable people can agree that there are certain items from China where we would like to have a more robust supply chain of our own, and there are strategic reasons to implement tariffs. Whereas some of the back and forth with other countries, I'd say there's less of a compelling case there.